Salute, salute, man. We're gonna jump back in and try this again. We're gonna jump back in and try this one more time. I'm having some problems with my internet, ladies and gentlemen. Having problems with my internet. Forgive me, forgive me, forgive me. All right, but here we go. Meechee X.
My hat in what and played a bullshit game that I see with my eyes so that you can see me. You want me to be more sympathetic? No. I feel sorry for Nolan's family, but that does not change the fact of anything that I have said. You should learn from the mistakes. Nolan's family didn't believe that racism existed in the way that it does. But as soon as something happened to their black son, now all of a sudden they want to play the race card while steady telling people on TV it's not about race. So which one is it? Is it about race or is it not about race? I think what's offensive, no matter what you're going through, no matter what happened to your son, that you placate on the black community's emotions to come in and say, y'all should be mad, black people. This is racism. Look what they did to my son. You should be angry because these could be your son. Motherfucker, it's been our sons. Where was you that you didn't know this and you live in Mississippi, that you felt so safe with them white people? You ain't even know. Like you got.
All right, salute to everybody. Yeah, I had technical difficulties, man. My internet messing up and everything. Salute to everyone who was dedicated and loyal enough to come back. Cherry Shortcake, salute to you. Storm, you know what it is. Brent, you know what it is. Glad to have you back.
I caught up in some shit you was just oblivious to, and we all seen it. We've experienced it. And then when it hits them, I'm just mad at the fact, and if you're not mad, it's crazy that people have lost respect for me. You should lose a little more sympathy for Nolan's mama every time she opened her mouth. Why are y'all not offended for those that aren't, right? If the shoe fit, wear it. If it don't, then I'm not talking to you. But at the end of the day, how are you not offended to watch this woman take every action to play the race card, say this is racism, from her attorney to the shit he putting out to the projection they're seeing, but every time the camera is in her face and they tell.
Okay, everyone, this is Meechee X. Meechee X on YouTube, okay? And Meechee has a very, very big following. And Meechee's been doing this for a long, long time, y'all. She's gonna speak the truth. She looks like she's aging backwards. She's still beautiful and everything. Okay. But she's been doing this for a long time, man. So fair use, educational purposes, literary purposes, commentary purposes. And y'all make sure y'all go subscribe, man. Y'all make sure y'all go subscribe.
Her. People, what do you say to people who say this is about race? Open your mouth, fucking Christina, and say yes. Right? Isn't that what you're banking Ben Crump on? Isn't that what you use to rile up the black community? The race card. But now you can't open your mouth and say it's about race. So why are you playing the race card? But do you want to back the fuck up?
What if I told you that the moment your book is published, there could be a giant billboard featuring you and your...
And the disrespectful thing in this, if you do not actually realize why it's disrespectful, I'm going to say it one more again. The disrespectful issue to all of this is that you want black people to fight with you. You want to play the race card. You want us to get involved. You want us to spread the messages. You want us to bring attention to your son's situation so you can find out what happened to him. But you're not interested in justice that it will affect the black community. You just want to know what happened to your son. My question is, why can't she ask what happened to her son and at the same time open her mouth and say, yes, I do believe that some of this is about race. Why she can't say that?
And I I can go with that, y'all. I can buy into that. I said that before the stream was interrupted. I can buy into that because you're basically condoning this behavior. I can buy into that, most definitely.
If she's grown up in the neighborhood, I get it. But on some genuine shit, why this lady just won't say, I won't say that all people are racist. I think we've lived in a really great community. I don't even want to believe that, that's the...
But I can't say this would have never happened in the black community because things happen in the black community. We just would have never did anything like that. You know, I don't know. Is that a fair assessment, y'all? Is that a fair assessment? Cause we do act stupid in our neighborhoods over the dumbest things, and everybody crime is proximity based. So if you live in a white neighborhood, the majority of your assailants, your perpetrators are going to be white. If you live in a black neighborhood, the majority of your alleged perpetrators are going to be black, and so forth. You know what I'm saying? And so forth. No, I'm here. I turned my camera off for a second. I'm here.
Reason that something happened to my son. But what I will say to you is that there is a history in Mississippi of police departments and officials who seem to not do their job. And that absolutely has a hint of racism in it, because isn't that what Crump is preaching? Isn't that what Crump said? Crump said, well, we got a long history here and we know the system don't do what they're supposed to do. Was that not his argument at the fucking press conference? He keeps saying that. So why she can't open her mouth and say that? So yes, I think that the reason that they just dismissed my son and didn't give him a good autopsy, we're looking for another one, because guess what? I do think that's because he's black. I think that if this was 4 black boys and 1 white boy went missing, they would have never handled it this way. Why is she so scared to say that on national TV, but she keep playing the black card? You as black people should be fucking offended. Shout out to you for the gifts. There's all kind of gifts up in here. That's okay. Yeah, they got buses and shit in front of the soccer. Thank you. I'm just saying, I don't understand how people don't get that. Somebody was like, another person was like, Meechee, I can't even finish the rest of this video because you're being very disrespectful. How can you have an opinion on why I said what I said if you didn't even listen to the video? So all I'm saying is that, I don't like to believe that I'm intimidating. People are just intimidated. It's a completely different thing depending on how you want to look at it. I don't think I'm disrespectful. I just think that you're easily disrespected. Do you get what I'm saying? So look, if you got to get the fuck up out of here, by all means, don't follow me. Don't listen to my commentary. Don't watch it if you're so offended. Stay caught up in the matrix of the games that's being played. Because I have watched family members like Nolan's mom. I have watched them cry, boo-hoo, booger tears, and get a check. And find out that to get that check, they signed paperwork that said they wouldn't pursue the justice against this official or that official, or the police officer could keep his job.
I'm gonna be honest. There is no right time for this type of thing to happen. Hey, give me just a moment. There is no right time for this type of thing to happen.
Everybody who gets a check from any department, have you noticed they're not allowed to speak out against the police? Have you ever seen them get a big check and then they on?
Thank you, Storm, for posting the cash app. I hope it get used. YouTube dropping everything on me, man. I'm literally getting nothing. No views, no nothing. They are getting the job done. They're trying to get me out of here. They're definitely doing it. So I hope that cash app is definitely used somehow. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen.
Podiums, and they're saying, fuck these police. They screaming about the system. They talking about justice. How many of them get their checks and go away? Let's be real. Let's be real. How many of them get their checks after you spin your wheels in the street, after you're angry because you didn't get no justice? So many of y'all who would, if you had a check, which you didn't get, but if you had one, you give it all back just to get the justice for your loved ones. See, those people are not the one that's put in the spotlight. You have to be a respectable nigga. Let Crump say the stuff that he's saying. We need Nolan's mom and dad to look like they're respectable and good. They're going to take that check, and that check is going to require that they are not allowed to speak against the system. Then you don't want justice. Christina Wells, you don't want justice for your son, because real justice will be this, and I said this earlier today. If you want real justice, the only reason those police officers were still in their position to not do their job is because the last Black person that they railroaded their death, nobody addressed them. The last several cases that Stacy Turner, the medical examiner in Mississippi, just dismissed other people's family members' autopsies as well. See, this didn't just happen to her son. This has been happening to other people. So you find out what happened to your son. They arrest some of them boys that's at the thing. But how does that change the problem? So you want...
All right. Alicia Barnes, the Storm, the Texas Redbone says, Super Chat or Cash App, $ Mr. Uncut Consciousness, educating like no other. You know, I'm going to tell y'all, there is no right time for an unfortunate situation like this to occur. No one should have to bury their child or outlive their children. But this happened at the right time for her, y'all. We're coming off of the Carmelo Anthony verdict. We're coming off of the Rick Chow, Cyrus Carmack Belton verdict. Okay, we're dealing with the young lady in South Florida, in Broward County, who had to stand her ground in self-defense, who unalived, you know, an aggressive, you know, male down there, so to speak. So this came on the heels of racial tension that was already built up in this country from social, economical, and legal injustices that we've seen and experienced and lived through forever now. So this happened at the right time, although it should have never happened. Does that make sense, ladies and gentlemen? Danielle Terry, what's up, beautiful? This happened at a good time for her, but a bad time for anybody, including Nolan. No one should have to go through that. But that's why she's able to really validate playing the race card right now. Let's think about it, y'all. They didn't live in a black community. They didn't go to a black school. What did they think about their blackness? What did they think about black people? Did they ever come out and protest on behalf of black people? Ever? Where were they in the Carmelo Anthony verdict? You know, what did we hear of this mom? I mean, we definitely heard from Ben Crump, I believe. You know what I mean? I believe, but still, he did speak up, right? Yeah, I could have swore he spoke up. He posted some things online. Yeah, but we don't know if this family supported that black cause. But now because Nolan Wells is black and he's unalive, and you didn't want to live in a black neighborhood to be associated with black people or send your children to a black school, and then the white people you trusted unalive your black child, now you're calling for black people's support, when it sounds like you should be wanting white people's support because that's who you placated to. I'm just saying, ladies and gentlemen, what Meechee X is saying right now holds lots of weight. And yes, it sounds wrong. Let me give my disclaimer. I am not, nor do I condone kicking this family while they're down, while they're grieving. Ladies and gentlemen, that is not my goal here. That is not my goal. But my goal is to enlighten people. And this is a very good perspective. Her psychoanalysis on this situation is like, man, it's impeccable if you ask me. You know, Storm says, let's share the live, guys, to family and friends to help grow the channel. Everybody be sure to like, share, hype, subscribe. It helps the channel grow and stay in the algorithm. Thank you. I'm trying, y'all, but that's why I don't get on much anymore, because it just seems like the support isn't there. You know, I'm not making the money. YouTube's not letting me get the views. It's the perfect ingredients for disaster. So why not just let the inevitable happen? But, you know, I guess I got to go out with a fight, y'all. I got to go out with a fight.
Justice for your son, you don't want justice for the racism of the card that you're playing so that it can change things in the fabric of Mississippi in that area. What you should want is to scream racism so that we can find out why Stacy is being a corrupt medical examiner. Maybe Stacy should be taken out of her seat and not be allowed to be the medical examiner. Maybe the Department of Justice should come in and investigate Stacy, because maybe Stacy has actually been covering up causes of death, because she does have a connection to the Goon Squad, and 6 of them are in prison, and she dismissed some of their unalivings of people while they were on duty. This is not the first time she's done this. Like, maybe you scream racism so that we can address why the officers did not fully do their job. Maybe we should look at their track record and we should see that they are corrupt, that they have done this a lot in a lot of cases. It seems to only be with Black people who are the victims. And maybe there's a pattern here, and maybe all these motherfuckers should be fired or charged with some type of a crime. But see,
Stacey is the medical examiner. Stacey is the medical examiner. She has a reputation in Mississippi for basically coming up with undetermined for the cause of death.
She's covering up for a lot of shit.
Right. She's been covering up lots of unalivings of Black people in cases that should have been investigated. So she has a reputation for this. Yeah, let me run that back. I'm glad you caught that. Let me run that back.
Medical examiner. Maybe Stacey should be taken out of her seat and not be allowed to be the medical examiner. Maybe the Department of Justice should come in and investigate Stacey, because maybe Stacey has actually been covering up causes of death, because she does have a connection to the Goon Squad, and 6 of them are in prison, and she dismissed some of their unalivings of people while they were on duty. This is not the first time she's done this. Like, maybe you scream racism so that we can address why the officers did not fully do their job. Maybe we should look at their track record and we should see that they are corrupt, that they have done this a lot in a lot of cases. It seems to only be with Black people who are the victims. And maybe there's a pattern here, and maybe all these motherfuckers should be fired or charged with some type of a crime. But see, that does not happen when Christina gets on national TV, and every time they keep asking her is it about race, she won't open her fucking mouth to say that. But you keep playing with the emotions of Black people. You got crunk.
She's cooking, y'all. She's cooking. I'm talking about she banging pots in that kitchen. She's cooking. She's cooking. And she's absolutely right. Again, not to kick that family while they're down. Okay? Brother Nolan deserves to be alive. But Brother Nolan didn't identify with people who look like himself. I mean, even his best friend, Javon, whoever his name is, even he looked like a mixed fella. You know, he looked like a mixed fella. Brent, I'm trying to hold on. Brent says, could you say that Nolan has the ability to participate in the two racial sandboxes, partly due to the makeup and demographics of Ocean Springs? No, that's why he that's why he can't play that card. There's only like an 8% Black population there. You know? There's only like an 8% population. Ocean Springs, Mississippi, the county of Ocean Springs. I think it's Jackson, Mississippi.
But Ocean Springs, right there before you get it, Biloxi, it comes Pascagoula, Mobile.
But it's racist. This has been going on. Everybody knows this has been going on. What do you think Mississippi burning coming from? You know, what do you think Mississippi burning came from? This has been Mississippi. You know what I'm saying? But I agree with you, y'all.
Slave and put him over behind horses for years.
The Black daddy knew better than that. I bet he don't got 20 white friends. I bet you. I blame the daddy. Where is
all
he
these
from?
out in Ocean Springs.
Yeah.
Putting up motherfucking post of your son in a pool at a party that wasn't even nowhere around the time of the 4th of July. He didn't confirm it as an attorney. He didn't say where it came from, and he threw it out there, whether he knew it was legit or not. We have found out that the photo was a whole nother time. It has nothing to do with nothing, but it doesn't mean that it didn't rile up Black people in the meantime. See, there go that race card, but then she get on news the next motherfucking day, and well, you know, we all just want to find out what's happening. Everybody wants to know what's going on, and we all love Nolan. And I'm not saying it's my main say it, but I just gotta say it while nobody else say it, because she fucking drop a tear. I mean, I know people grieve different, but I ain't never seen so much crying with no tears in my motherfucking life. And some of y'all probably offended I said that. I'm sorry. If you need to unsubscribe, do what you gotta do. That comment probably made a couple of y'all mad, but I'm just saying, it's just something that came to my mind, not y'all, because I be watching this woman.
Y'all all be wanting to watch other people live stream. They be getting all these super chats and cash apps and stuff. I don't be wanting to watch nobody live stream. This is torturous right here. You know, but I'm doing this for the people. Y'all can't say I don't love y'all. This is torturous. I'm gonna be honest. I don't even want to be here right now. I'm insulted, man. I don't want to keep going through this. This is no. I don't want to keep going through this. But for the sake of Nolan, for the sake of the message, sure. But this is torturous. This is torturous. But she's got a point, man.
She be the, I think that about anybody though. I think that about anybody. I'm like, why did you? I mean, it could be a completely perfect explanation for that. She could be a complete sociopath, and maybe she doesn't feel remorse or pain, but she's just going with the motions. I don't know. I'm not saying any reason behind it. I'm just saying her face be dry as fuck. That's all I'm saying. I mean, it has nothing to do with here nor there. It's just an observation. I just wanted to say, am I the only one to see that shit?
And I've heard
Let me
her.
read this in the chat.
I've heard the mom identify as black. I've heard her mom, well, his mom, I'm sorry. I've heard Nolan's mom identify as black. I've heard her.
About anybody. I'm like, why did you? I mean, it could be a completely perfect explanation for that. She could be a complete sociopath, and maybe she doesn't feel remorse or pain, but she's just going with the motions. I don't know. I'm not saying any reason behind it. I'm just saying her face be dry as fuck. That's all I'm saying. I mean, it has nothing to do with here nor there. It's just an observation. I just wanted to say, am I the only one to see that shit? Let me read the super chat. Shout out to you, Blackwood. Thank you for the $5 holler. Says, look here, this deep South racism, but different. So I should always be completely wide open. Come on now, Meechee, you better let them have this business. I'm just telling you, like, I don't know. I just think it's disrespectful for somebody that has been in the Black community, and we be striving to do this work. I've sat with many families. We've been in Mississippi.
Can anyone else see how this can be seen as being disrespectful to the Black community? Can anyone else see how this can be disrespectful to the Black community? I mean, I see where she's coming from, but I still feel like we have an obligation to stand up because this was still a Black son. This was a Black child whose parents just made a ridiculous mistake of trusting other people, you know what I'm saying, outside of themselves, so to speak. You know, I'm trying to watch the way I speak, y'all, so that they give me my, I don't know why they shadow banning me, but it's sickening. It's been going on for months. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to watch the way I speak. It's a Friday night, and this is all the people we have in here. But it is what it is.
Specifically a lot. It's crazy out there, and the stories and the things that people will tell you that live there, and the stuff that we have seen, and the stuff that people have experienced, and it's just like, I don't know. I think that it's very disregarding for people in Crump to continue to use these cases. Which one of these major cases you have seen where people get a big check and an ambulance chasing attorney is standing next to them? Which one has ever actually changed the fabric of an injustice that it didn't happen again? Name me one. I will cash app you $1,000 motherfucking dollars right now. Name me one that actually turned into some shit that this shit was dealt with and it didn't happen no more. Tell me about that injustice. You can't name one. Black people got paid. We got riled up, right? Well, a Black family, not much Black people, a family got paid. We got riled up, and justice never comes at all. Then somebody want me, I'm like, why are you beating the sister down? And she already, I didn't know I was beating her down. I don't think Christina's watching my video. If she's going through all she's going through, Christina doesn't have time to be on anything, and she shouldn't be watching nobody's videos, especially with all these rumors that her attorney helps to keep spreading the misinformation, right? Their camp keeps doing that. They camp on purpose. So she should be watching TV at all. So I doubt if I'm kicking her while she's down, because I don't think she even knows what the fuck I have to say. It's not about whether Christina can hear me. The question is, do y'all motherfucking hear me? So y'all can see this fucking game and we can stop getting caught up in it? Can we stop playing this game with them? That's all I'm saying. I refuse to waste my energy. You waste y'all energy. I've been wasting my energy for fucking years and years and years to see the real truth of what it all is. And I get it. You don't believe it, you don't see it. That's on you. Shout out to you for the $5 holler.
These are not your everyday teeth in a day. No. So I have a regular provider that I did talk to.
Yeah, I'm still agreeing with Meechee. I'm not talking against the
Black
family.
agenda open tapping in. Hey, that was a long.
I'm not talking against the family, but I still agree with Meechee. If this was the case, I'm not saying this was the case, you know what I'm saying? But if this was the case and they were, you know, placating to the Black community, yet they never wanted to really accept their Blackness, then she has a strong and valid point, y'all. We have to consider her perception of things. We have to. If that is the case, everything she's saying is spot on. And it's exactly how we should feel. But like I said, this is a Black soul. This is a Black son. This is a tragedy. And if we don't speak up, if we don't unify, then we're pretty much condoning their behavior, and we're condoning this type of behavior to affect another black life, another black life. So we have to take a stand. They say if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. And I think that matters now. That matters now. So I think that we should still be rallying behind this family and standing up, no doubt. But take these type of things that we hear Meechee saying in consideration. And shout out to Meechee, because she's the first person that I heard lay it down like this. So shout out to Meechee, which means that she's obviously, while we were studying Nolan and his friends, she was studying Nolan's parents. That's brilliant. That's brilliant, because this is, how can I put it? This is like we've never heard it. Her take on this is not a take that we've heard floating online. So to me, this was brilliant. Now, does she sound like a hater? No. Everything she's saying makes sense. But I still say that we have to stand up, we have to rally, we have to support. We have to support. I'm sorry that happened to young Nolan. I'm sure his parents are upset. I wonder if his parents are even going to move out of Ocean Springs. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, she's keeping it real. She's keeping it real. I wonder if his parents are even going to move out of Ocean Springs. I wonder.
Time ago, boy, we had a good time in Oakland. Y'all, that was in the beginning. Where my day ones at? Who was at Oakland at the Black Agenda? Y'all remember we would get in there, and if you was not black, you can't come in here. They've been calling us racist for a long time, huh, y'all? They said, if you're not black, you can't get in the Black Agenda. Y'all remember that? Yeah. Who was at the Black Agenda where I actually had to kick a non-black person out? That happened a few times. But they was running around in there like, ally, and I was like, excuse me, you gotta go. I will kick your non-black ass out of the Black Agenda. But shout out to you. Thank you for the $5. Angel with the $20 holler says, there's a mom from Minnesota named Kira Davis whose son was taken out the same way as Nolan, and Crump wouldn't take her case. I guess she didn't fit the aesthetics. Absolutely. Thank you for the $20. I don't want to say it's for saying that, because you're absolutely right. In Mississippi, y'all remember DeMonterio? He wouldn't take DeMonterio's case either. So DeMonterio, if you guys don't know, he was a UPS driver. He was delivering a package, had on his uniform and everything. And when he was delivering the package, they said they thought he was stealing the package. So a white father and son came out their house, started shooting at him. He tried to get on the road. They stood in the middle of the road with the gun in front of him, and he swerved around them, and they shot all in the car. Shot at the boxes and everything. Now, he went to go press charges, and the police department would not do anything to them. But come to find out, they were related to people in the police department. And this was not a secret. It wasn't hard to find. It was in your face. And we're talking about civil rights. But when we called Crump, he said, this is not the kind of cases that we take. So I guess, I don't know what that means. Like, he got to be dead, or, because we can prove that they're not arresting this man because they violating his rights because he's black. But he wouldn't take the case. I'll tell you right now, it's funny, because one day I'm going to take the time and I'm going to make y'all a video. Like, I'm not the type of person that I feel that I need to capture the moment of everything. And so I have pictures and videos from every Black Agenda, all the pictures y'all stood and took with me. I have videos of everybody I've been around, but I don't post.
All right. Can't help somebody that never wanted our help. Yeah, but it's still a black life. It's still a black life. The fact is, Nolan was deviously set up and unalived. And as you stated earlier, it comes on the heels of Carmela. Exactly. That's why I feel like we should still be standing up. Exactly.
The pictures, because for me, I'm in the moment. I don't really care about the pictures. But there's a lot of y'all in there, and there's a lot of memories. But I have tons of pictures with Crump. Especially when I got to Mississippi. All of the families we were dealing with in their stories, it's like I couldn't show up to any event without Crump being there. Me and Crump got pictures. Me and Big Mike. Me and all kind of motherfucking people. I don't post them because I don't give a fuck. I don't be looking for no damn clout. But at the end of the day, when you're talking about Crump and what he does, that's absolutely what Crump does. Crump only takes certain cases that he know he can win. It's really not about black justice for people. It's about the cases that are going to bring him the biggest amount.
I agree. That is why I had a disposition towards Ben Crump. And I still hold that disposition. I can reference that to Tyler Perry. You made your whole career off of wearing a dress and showing black men it was okay to be effeminate. And now look at how the alphabet community has played and tainted the black community. But Tyler Perry made all of his money doing this. Now he's making money placating towards black women again with all the drama movies and this and that. And you know, Tyler Perry don't make black men look too good, y'all. You know what I'm saying? He don't make black people look too good. Jake from State Farm, what's good? Brent Greer says the whole community should be outraged with what has happened to be. Do y'all know how many people should be in jail right now, man? These arrests should look like the arrest from January 6, 2020. It should look like the arrest we should have saw when the Epstein files, y'all, were revealed. There should have been so many people who don't look like us getting locked up. Honestly, somebody saw something. Katie, if you was the last one to talk to Nolan, which direction did he go? Which direction did he go? These are simple questions that people can ask, but yet they deactivate accounts. They lawyer up. They botch the medical examinations. Then they accuse us of being racist. How many times have we saw this, man? How many times? The way these people perpetuate victimhood, y'all, it's whew. Whew. It causes a slight case of indignation, man. It's very overwhelming and upsetting, man. Oh, I know about Daniel Irvin. I know about him. I know about Daniel Irvin. I mentioned him the other day, but I never got to cover him. But I know about him.
On the money, right? So Crump is looking.
And Daniel Irvin happened on the same day, but before Nolan Wells.
At this from another thing. He does pick and choose. He's not there because of the injustice, because there are great cases he could have taken. They absolutely, you can see that they have a case and they're going to win, but Crump won't take it. If it's not something he can publicize, if it's not something he can, you see how as soon as he did, he weaponized the black community against this situation. That nigga don't mean us no good. Crump is part of the reason why we can't ever get no justice. And this is why they can't get we can't get no justice. And this is because of this. You got all these attorneys and they will come together to get these big checks for all these families. Why they don't come together and go to the Supreme Court and start suing for things that are actually violating our civil rights? Like, we fought for civil rights and he's a civil rights attorney. Most of the civil rights we fought for are afforded to immigrants and other people. They don't really come to us. So why is he and his team of lawyers, he'll pro bono get on Carmelo Anthony's case because it make him look good for other clients to want to hire him in the future. That's why he's doing it. Because why y'all ain't got together a dream team and went to the Supreme Court and started addressing some issues that are violating our civil rights? Why not do that? If he fixes it, that nigga he'll put himself out of a job. Don't he need y'all to have these racist cases so that he could sue somebody so he could get a check? I want y'all to think about that. Why would he cut his arm off and stop his job and feed himself? Why would anybody do that? So Crump is part of the reason why we stay in this cycle. And people are offended because I said what I said about Nolan's mama, but she's a part of the game. And if a motherfucker ears wasn't so sensitive and you would have finished listening to my video, you would have known that I said she is in a lot of pain. And there's some shit she's doing and she's doing it like not consciously. His mom is a biracial woman that lives in a bougie ass white people neighborhood. She doesn't really believe racism exists like that.
Exactly.
So it's easy for her not to say that.
Woo. Hey, y'all, Meechee
I'm
cooking.
a single mom of a 4-year-old. I'm working a full-time job.
Yeah. Hey. Should nobody be clapping back at Meechee? Meechee cooking. Meechee cooking. Meechee is cooking, y'all. Who timed Jake out? No, we don't time out Jake. Oh, you just teaching him a lesson? We never time Jake out. Jake gets a pass. He's just here to troll. Jake and DA, we let them stay. We let them stay. Oh, that wasn't Jake? That was Jake. That's Jake's other thing right there. That's Jake. You'll know it's Jake because he always comes in and says cherry fish cake. That's Jake. He has different accounts, but you didn't know. It's okay. Yeah, that's Jake. That's a different account, sweetie. But it's all right. You didn't know.
Answers. So she's being used in her state of where she is just as much as anybody else gets used. She's not pretending to play a part. She's being exactly who she's supposed to be, and the part fits her perfectly. Crump is telling her what to say. He's telling her how to come across. This is why he's telling her to do the speaking and not the black man that's always standing behind her and not saying nothing. I've been around Crump enough.
That is true. That is true. Hey, we don't see the daddy speaking up a lot. That is true. The mom has been speaking up the most and being Crump. That Meechee is on point, y'all. I've been listening to Meechee X forever, man, for like maybe 10, 12 years, man. You know what I'm saying? She is on point. She's cooking, y'all. She's cooking. See, you have to do this type of stuff unapologetically. Unapologetically. Everybody wants you to see their view of things, but getting people to think outside the box and think logically rather than radically, it's hard. But she's on point. She is on point. That dad does not speak up a lot. Maybe it's because he has a combustible behavior. He's not taking this right. Maybe he'll say the wrong thing in front of the cracker, in front of the camera. Y'all excuse me, man. Excuse me. In front of the camera. So he don't want to upset anybody. You know what I'm saying? Nah. I don't think no one's gonna gamble their son. I'm not gonna gamble my child. And that's what I hold against the Bible. The Bible can't convince you to sacrifice your own child. That is some evil. That is some evil. And because few, if any, members of the white community have not come forward, the issue of racism becomes most obvious. Are there white folks in Ocean Springs who would come forward on principle? We don't know. Most of them hide behind the code. The code. And don't forget, if any of these white people come out for Nolan like that in those numbers, then the same thing can happen to them. We're still talking about Mississippi. You know, we've witnessed just being online. I've witnessed as a content creator that most of the white truth tellers, they wear masks and everything to keep people from recognizing them and ostracizing them and coming after them and victimizing them. You know? People have been known to do research about Trayvon. I don't want to believe that. I know people do it, but I don't want to believe that there is I just don't want to believe that.
I've dealt with the same families, and it's funny because there are times that we come into town to talk to the family to get their story, and when we went to go and do that, they're ready to talk to us. And I've had families that as soon as Crump show up, and after they have a conversation, he smiles, he shakes my hand. How you doing, Meechee? Oh, you doing some? He even gave me one of his like assistant attorneys to kind of like have his number to kind of communicate with them. But as soon as he gets out of my face, Crump always goes and tells them, do not speak to any media. He tells them not to talk to me and do interviews with me. But then I will watch him go on a media, like, you know, a media thing, and he will go on NBC, ABC, but he doesn't want them on my network because he knows that I'm going to ask them the questions about, right, the racist part of it. And even though Crump wants to play the racist card, he doesn't want to go so too far that he puts his foot in his own mouth because he has to seem very agreeable. He has to seem doing the right thing. He's like, look, master, I got it. Look, they was wrong. They got to pay a price. But look, even after all that's been done to her, she's an agreeable Negro. She does not argue. She is telling them to have peace. She is not trying to protest and go to other.
Facts. And she is saying that. She is saying that Nolan wouldn't want anyone fighting. She said Nolan wouldn't want anyone grieving. Lady, someone just unalived your son. And the whole community went silent on you. Went silent. The community you trusted, rather than living around your own people, went silent on you when you needed them the most. Matter of fact, your community, someone, if not multiple people in your community, are the very reason you're going through these emotional sentiments now. That's why Nolan is no longer here. I haven't seen people who don't look like us, non-black people, posting things out of Mississippi like black people. You know, Nolan didn't like y'all. His family didn't like y'all. Hell, they didn't want to live around y'all. Y'all aren't allowed to protest or say anything about Nolan. Hell, he was one of us. He chose white over his blackness. So it's our job. Yeah, they're putting out this kind of content. You know what I'm saying? They're putting out this type of content, ladies and gentlemen. See nothing, hear nothing, know nothing. They saw everything and still know nothing. But had this happened to someone non-black, the whole community would look like 6ix9ine right now. They'd be snitching. They'd be snitching. They'd be telling everything. They'd be telling everything. And I think they've silenced Katie. I think they've silenced Katie.
Wait, she deserves this little bit of justice. Her son is not coming back. Come on, give her the check. Lock the white boy up. But she's going to keep everybody in line. Like, that's the type of nigga that he is. But this is how Kurt makes his money. He's not ever finna help abolish none of this shit. This is all a part of the game. So people talk about, I'm kicking her while she down. No, y'all continue to be the reason. Motherfuckers like Nolan mama, who's getting played because of her situation, and she out here playing this game right along with Crump and everybody else. It's those exact people and those exact reasons that we are still where we are and we can't get free.
I'm gonna say that is true. Listen, I don't know how old some of you are, but I know when Johnny Cochran was alive, this slowed down. They were afraid. They were afraid. I don't even hear of Ben Crump winning cases. I just hear of him getting civil suits. I don't hear about people getting locked up. So there's got to be immunity behind these civil suits. She is correct, y'all. She is correct. She is correct. That's the wicked deception and toleration of the. She is correct. Of the corruption. I would agree. I would agree.
And I'm sorry, everybody is different. We're not all the same. I'm gonna read the super chat and then I just want to say, you know.
Whoa.
They won't let me skip that.
I just built a budgeting app in Base 44.
Guys, Nina just. I'm not nice like some of the rest of y'all is. I am, but to certain things and to certain extents. I'm ready to go to war. I'm ready to fight. I told you that a long time ago. But y'all don't want that approach. That is clear. That is clear. If nothing else is clear, that is clear. If Tamir didn't make y'all get up and burn this bitch down, if the 1-year-old baby who just got shot in the car because the officer just busting at the car as they driving away, if that's not going to make you burn this bitch down, I'm just going to sit my ass the fuck down. Because nothing.
She has a point. I've said this a lot, man. And I can't believe I'm agreeing with her because I disagree with what the parents are going through. I disagree with what happened to Nolan, but I definitely agree with everything Meechee is saying. Okay, Jake Boy said, I'm gonna come back under his profile so y'all know it's him. Cherry Shortcake say, that's the story of the Neanderthal's life. They are blind, deaf, dumb, till it's something that benefit, till it's their beliefs are heavy. And oh, I got you. King Fire, what's good, King Fire? What's good?
Gonna make y'all get up and do that. Nothing. We like the emotion. It's like a bad relationship. We like the song and dance. You beat me, you hurt me, and then we scream and we cry, and then things go back to normal for a little while. So we act like the abuse and the torture and the oppression and the racism isn't there because we gotta go about our everyday life. And the only way that we can survive is to swallow our pride, and this just becomes our normal. Then we begin to function and dysfunction, and we stay in this relationship, and every time we think it's good, then they come and slap us again, and then we go through the emotions again.
She's cooking. She's cooking. She's cooking. She is speaking, man. She is speaking. I can understand how a lot of people will have a problem with what she's saying. But no, man, real recognize real. Real recognize real, y'all. All day long. All day long. Listen, you can't fix a problem if you never find resolve to the problem. So all these different civil suits, it's not resolved. It's not fixing the problem. It's filling a void that's in an isolated Black family's life who has unfortunately experienced the death of a child or loved one wrongfully at the hands of these type of individuals. Okay? These type of individuals. But y'all, she's cooking. She's cooking. I can't hate on anything she's saying. And again, I'm not trying to kick the family while they're down. Nolan deserves to be here. But had he gone to a Black school, maybe he'd be here. If he was introduced to more black friends, maybe he'd be here. If he accepted the fact that he was black, maybe he'd be here. And if the parents made better decisions in where they were going to raise their children and actually tell their children the truth based on Americans' history and documents and everything else, actually expose, the history of this country, then maybe Nolan would still be here. I mean, it's all speculation. I wish the young brother was still here with us. He should still be here. But trusting the wrong people because you don't trust your own people, well, here we go. Y'all say his daddy got to be a Sambo. It's I don't want to see. I don't want to label the parents. I don't. I do think they made some bad decisions. I do think the father's being too quiet. I just don't have it in me to kick him while they're down, y'all. I mean, we could tell the truth about certain things, but I just don't have it in me to kick him while they're down. He would not have been on a boat to spend a holiday on. And listen, this is how I know it's a problem within his family. Why the hell are you still out here celebrating the 4th of July? Thank you, Jake, boy. Thank you, Jake from State Farm. I appreciate that. But why are you still out here celebrating the 4th of July? For something that was done to you. And then you were later reclassified and your land was stolen. Your resources were taken. Your ancestors were made prisoners of war and reclassified into blacks and Negroes right here, not from Africa, right here. And then you're going to go celebrate with the colonizer, with the enemy, with the very people who afflicted you in the first place and oppressed you. Why? See, that's how I know the truth and consciousness was not present in Nolan's home and that dad did fail. Because that should have been one of the things that the dad should have been discussing with Nolan. Listen, son, we don't celebrate these pagan holidays. Listen, son, on July 4th, 1776, people who look like us in this country were still slaves. But let me guess, that's passing racism. That's causing division. Well, what is the death of the only black person who was alive on that boat with non-blacks? What does that look like when you pass it off? What does that look like? Doesn't that look like racism too? Thank you, Jake. I appreciate that. Definitely appreciate that, Jake. Definitely appreciate that.
You know how a motherfucker don't even like peace in a relationship? Like if they not fighting, they don't feel love. It's like if we don't constantly stay in this cycle of oppression and stress and screaming and crying and protesting and not getting shit, but talking shit, but not getting shit and screaming and protesting and crying. Like it feels so familiar.
That's something to think about, man. Let's consider this for a minute. Had Nolan's parents, especially the dad, gone over the history of this country and told Nolan, this is not one of the days we celebrate in our black household, Nolan would still be here. He would be on no boat with no malicious friends to unalive him while he's out celebrating the 4th of July. That's something to think about, ladies and gentlemen. They don't want to be freed by the truth. So to the lies, they remain trapped. Exactly.
To us, I think that Nick is just like the song and dance. I think that if we had freedom and there was nothing to fight for, we wouldn't know what to do with ourselves. So like maybe this is our abusive relationship with racism in America and we kind of like it. I don't know. But what I'm telling you is none of this shit that has to do with Nolan's family will not get anybody justice. It will get no.
DA, what's good, DA? What's good, DA?
And maybe justice for the people who did what they did to him. But the real culprits who allowed this case to even play out this way. Boy should have been arrested, at least held for questioning. Everybody that was at that boat with him, people who were with him that day, people who had his phone, they should have been held in questioning immediately, asked questions, and then from there decided if anybody needed to be charged with anything. And had that happened, then that would have been fine. The problem is not what happened. The problem is how it was handled. And those motherfuckers gonna continue to handle it.
The problem is always how it's handled. The problem is it keeps happening and it shouldn't happen. And then the problem on top of the problem is the fact that it's never handled correctly. Why are they still so appeased to do this to us? Why do they still feel privileged enough to exercise this type of behavior to us? Why don't we have a crime bill? Why don't we have a hate bill? Why won't they ban racism in this country? Because they feed off of it. They need it. They need it. They're like a household cat. They just have to unalive something. They just have to unalive something. Let's share the live, mods. Guys, the family and friends to help grow the channel. Everybody be sure to hit the like button, share, hype, subscribe. It helps the channel grow and stay in the algorithm. It truly does. Thank you so much. And I'm glad to see, my mods showing up for me. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Y'all, like the trash they think you is, the lowlifes they think you are, the degenerates, the slaves that they don't think should be free. They're going to continue to treat black people like that in Mississippi. That's what they're going to do.
Ooh, that sink odor is out of hand. Who are you?
Your kitchen godfuck.
Because the real problem goes.
Yes, people should have already been arrested. And what gets me is they're saying that this was an accidental drowning or whatever they're saying. They're even trying to say that Nolan was intoxicated. But how is Ben Crump ready to present evidence to a grand jury if there's been no arrests, no searches, no nothing? Who are you charging with the crime? In order to give something to a grand jury, you have to have someone you can accuse. Who's he accusing? Because we haven't saw any arrests. We haven't saw any arrests. And one of Nolan's friends came out and left a racist comment saying those worthless black people, worthless blacks, worthless blacks. I'll see if I can find that. But yeah, he came out calling us worthless blacks and everything. It's the cocky guy that was sitting beside him on a boat that had his hand on his knee. Yeah, it was that guy. That guy.
Go to lunch and come back to work tomorrow. State's gonna keep saying what no foul play when it's foul play. As the medical examiner, there will be no justice because they're gonna keep fucking Negroes up because they're gonna stay in their spot. And who gonna check them, boo? Who? Crump just want to check. He ain't checking nobody. No, the mama just wants some facts. She ain't checking nobody because remember, she can't even speak up and say it's racism. And they're going to go back to doing the shit that they do to black people every day, all day. And if y'all call that justice, then you go right ahead. I'm not concerned in breathing and screaming and crying and fighting for Nolan.
Jake boy, you pushing it, Jake boy. You pushing it, Jake. I know you trolling, but you pushing it, Jake. Now, you don't want me to start roasting you, Jake. You don't want me to start roasting you, Jake. Talking about go back to Congo. All right, Jake. All right, Jake.
Mama to get somebody locked up while the real issue stay there because somebody else's child is about to feel some bullshit from the same people who still about to get away with their crimes. I'm talking about the coroner.
Y'all don't time Jake out, man. Jake, we got 2 personal tribe trolls. Actually 3, but I ain't saw Dubious around in a while. But Jake and DA, you know what I'm saying? We let them do their thing. At least they know how to troll. They just trying to get us riled up. Oh, don't time them out. Oh, well, he got timed out again. I guess sometimes you got to teach him how to act in public. Jake like, dang, he told her to kill me. I'm with you, doc. We can't go against the doctor, y'all. We can't go against the doc knows best, y'all. We can't go against the doc.
The medical examiner. I'm talking about the police officers. They're going to go brutalize somebody else's family after this. So how the fuck is that justice? So again, if y'all offended on my page, like, just get your weak ass on somewhere. And you is weak if you offended. Shout out to you, Beauty for the $5 holler says, Nolan mom seems like the type to make her kids sick so she can get attention and sympathy. She has a pet name for her fans now too. She's off. You are talking about Munchausen syndrome. And that's interesting. That's interesting. That is a true syndrome. Like I told y'all, there might be something in her because I don't see the tears. And maybe it's not, when I think about it, I think about like psychopaths who kind of.
What if she's a black Erica Kurt, y'all? I'm not saying she is. But what if she's a black Erica Kurt, y'all? Again, I'm not saying she is. So that's why we shouldn't speculate. This is why we shouldn't endeavor in conspiracy theories and stuff. But, you know, it's food for thought, y'all. What if she is a black Erica Kurt, y'all? If I see her dap her eye, I already know. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. All right.
Like don't have any feeling or any emotion, and you know they can perform, but really they're not feeling nothing because her cry seems so hollow. I don't know. I mean, everybody crying and they're more different, but the fact that the person that said that sounds very interesting because that's what I mean. Something may be an issue with her. So
Cherry Shortcake, you're on to something. Her voice does sound similar to Jaguar Wright's. I usually remove a comment or two before I block or time them out. Jake just be Jake. Yeah, Jake just being Jake. You know what I'm saying? We like having Jake in here. Jake just being Jake. We know how Jake rolls, so we accept it. Jake just being Jake. Jake got kicked out twice tonight. Jake like, damn.
Maybe it's that she may suffer from some type of a Munchausen syndrome, and not to the full extent where she was hurting Nolan, but mentally there can be something that all of this attention and stuff is something that she really enjoys having, and it does something for her. So the grieving may be fake because it's more about getting the attention from the people. Now, some of y'all might say that that's me.
Yeah, that is kind of Meechee. Oh, I ain't gonna say the grieving is fake. I'm gonna just let Meechee say that, y'all. I ain't gonna say that. I ain't gonna give no. Yeah, I'm gonna act like I ain't hear that. I ain't saying nothing about that.
But again, y'all low level surface understanding how people are. Folks' minds is all fucked up and people do all kind of shit. And I do think it's weird. The lady don't genuinely seem sad. Like I've seen a lot of people bust some real tears. Her face do a lot of this.
Meechee is one of those type of women and truth tellers. If you really don't want the truth, don't ask her. If you really don't want the truth, don't ask Meechee X. She's one of those type of women. She's one of those type of women. If you really don't want the truth, don't ask Meechee. Because Meechee's going to tell you. And she's going to be able to back up everything that she says. Everything. This has been Meechee for years, y'all. For decades. She's been doing this well over a decade. Well over a decade. Meechee X on YouTube, y'all.
That's all I'm saying. You might be on to something. You might be on to something, man. You might be on to something. Shout out to you for another $5 holler. Says at this point, Ben Crump is on trial. He has Carmelo, Cohen, and now Nolan's case. If he goes 0-3, he gotta go. Well, with Nolan's case, he's just finna like get the case where it's at. I do think that in Nolan's case, somebody's gonna go to jail. I think somebody's gonna be arrested. I think they can't avoid it, and so something's gonna happen. So I think that they will.
It's going to be more than what LeBron James said. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7. Y'all, we're gonna see lots of people go down for Nolan, unless they just, you know, unless they just nominate 1 or 2 people. It's hit the fall to save the entire community, but the entire community knows what happened at Horn Island. The entire community knows.
Get their justice, and then of course they're going to sue the police department for not appropriately doing their stuff. They're going to say they was violating their rights, and you know they wasn't trying to investigate his son's investigation and all of that stuff. And they're going to get a check, right? I think that with Carmelo's going to get a new trial, but Carmelo is not going to be found guilty either. I mean, hold your breath. We'll see, right? That's what I think.
He should have never been found guilty. He will get a new trial. Carmelo will be home. You know what I'm saying? My sentiments to Austin, who will not be back home. You know, we're watching all of this racial tension. They did not think that this racial tension would actually turn on them, that chickens come home to roost. You know what I mean? They didn't think that this stuff was gonna catch up with them, y'all. Don't the Christians say what you do in the dark come to the light? Aren't they Christians? Aren't what they doing in the dark into the dark coming to the light? Ladies and gentlemen. Can't we say that? Can't we say that?
Thank you for $5. Let me see, get caught up in this chat. So I don't know. I just think that it's thank y'all for the gifts. I just think that it's funny how people get so offended. So I'm gonna get out of here because I got shit to do. I gotta go to sleep because I gotta go to the airport and a little bit, y'all. But let me say this before I go. I'm not here to like placate y'all or hold y'all hand. We all grown as fuck. When we're talking about politics, we're talking about racism and things in this country. I shouldn't have to hold y'all hand. So let's be clear about that. You're a grown adult, and if you're offended by me, but you're not offended by the shit that you see, I don't know what to tell you.
Exactly.
I don't know what to tell you. Okay? Like there's so much.
I agree. I agree. They're more offended by us telling the truth than they are by the lies we live by, the lies we've been told, and the injustices that we continue to suffer through as a people. As a people. Just let that sink in, ladies and gentlemen. Let that sink in. As a people, that is how they feel.
Travesties and things that happen to Black people all the time in this country. And even now, I just want to show y'all something. We were talking about Carmelo. Who's talking about Carmelo anymore? Did we forget about him that quick? Go. What happened? We got a 1-year-old baby that is dead from the police. Just shooting at the cars they're driving out the parking lot. Are we done talking about that? Are we done with that already? Because I don't hear nobody talking about that no more. So now we're talking about Nolan, and in about 2 weeks, you want to talk about Nolan no more, and it'll be somebody else.
Indeed, it will.
Thank you, Black Wolf, for the $5. Says Miss Thang, you're gonna be going back live now before I become a member with your finance. Thank you for the compliment. No, I am. Thank y'all for the compliments. I mean, y'all always be sweet to me, but the other video the other night, oh my God, y'all, 1 million people in there must have said I look nice, so I must have looked nice. Thank you very much. People said I'm glowing and I look like I got some peace, and I do. So I want to say this though, I do have to go to North Carolina, and I'm gonna be there for.
All right, Mello should be at the house before they cut their trees and pull up in the house and decorate it. Nah, it's gonna take a year or two, if not more. If not more, those appeals usually take a year or two.
About 2 weeks. And then I have a vacation to go with my daughter. She's going to Florida for her birthday. We're going to have a girls' trip. And then after that, I will be live more regular. Y'all will see me. Okay? So I will be back. I have decided I needed a piece, y'all. This stuff, even like now, somebody said they offended by me. This shit is stressful. So that's why I say, when people come on and we have these conversations.
This stuff is stressful. And then going through what YouTube is taking me through, and all I do is tell the truth, that's stressful. Not being able to actually, you know what I'm saying, support things and be sustainable, you know what I'm saying, financially on YouTube, the time spent, yeah, it is stressful. That's why it's more easy for me just to say F YouTube and not even turn my camera on. I don't care about the numbers. You know what I mean? I'm not making no money anyways. They're not sending out any notifications. You know what I mean? So it almost becomes a waste of time. But y'all, indeed, it's stressful. Indeed, it is stressful. It's stressful to me every time I get on here and use somebody else live and I see super chat, gift, cash app. And with me, it's like, okay, well, get there when we get there, you know. So it's stressful, y'all. I've really been out and about just doing other things, you know what I mean, to make money, and it's been cutting into the YouTube time, but it's paying more than YouTube. So, you know, I'll be on YouTube whenever I can be on YouTube. I'm no longer making it a priority. You know what I'm saying? I'm no longer making it a priority. You know, what's up, ambitious of a writer?
So for the people that do events or we do things in the community and stuff, like it's different than the people who watch. This shit is taxing. And I'm gonna tell y'all watching me, I came into this thing full gun ho, trying to give it my all, and I'm burnt out, y'all. And the reason being is because the more I was in it, I had the answer. I still do got the answer. We could burn this bitch down. Anytime y'all want to go, just let me know. I'm ready. Call me, okay? 2257-6344. I don't even know if that's enough numbers, but whatever. Call me and let me know, okay? Because I'm ready whenever y'all want to do that. But nobody wants to do that. But the thing is that the more that I walk in this walk, I have just I have watched people that I thought that was really down for the community. I've watched them literally sell out the community. I watched them do damage to families that they claimed they were there to help over a check. I watch people that the community, and not necessarily y'all per se or on YouTube, but just as a whole, there are too many people that are fooled, and they're supporting all of the people who really ain't about doing that in the community. This is just
Facts. 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 she definitely bought it on this one. She bought it. She bought it, y'all. She bought it. It's been a great live. I've got to get up, get some things done, man. You know, I can't continue to sit here on YouTube and waste time and hours away hoping to make money when I could be out here and be active and make the money. So if I got to sacrifice something at this point, YouTube is going to be sacrificed. You know, I'm tired of the shadow bans. I'm tired of not really making nothing when I go on here. You know, there's no gifts, no cash apps, not many super chats, no nothing. And I'm spending hours on here, y'all. And it's starting to be insulting. So getting out and about, making some things happen financially. But I'm not sure how much longer I will be on YouTube, y'all, because this right here is humiliating and it's a slap in the face personally. So I do take this personally because I put many hours and brain cells and everything into like revealing the truth and putting things out there and proving my point. Y'all have saw me take on vampire after vampire and stand up in the paint. And I just feel like no one's really standing up in the paint for me. You know, so lots of times we deserve to have our energy reciprocated and it's not really being reciprocated. Brent, I appreciate you. Thank you. You know, but the energy is not being reciprocated. The message may be reciprocated, but the energy and the support is not, ladies and gentlemen. And this is embarrassing. You know, this is embarrassing. So we'll see what happens. I'm no longer going to be in a rush to come on here or drop content, y'all. I'll just get to it when I get to it. You know what I mean? If I'm going to sink, I'm just going to sink. And I can take that like a man. Maybe the ancestors are steering me in a different direction to do something a little bit differently. And I can take that because, you know, I've been wanting to get back in the studio. I want to go out and start doing my spoken words again, you know, and things like that. So maybe it's just time to go a different direction, y'all, because the support is not here. Thank you to those who have been supporting me, definitely everyone here. But it's just not enough to sustain, y'all. It's not enough. So that being said, I want everyone to enjoy their Fridays. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You're appreciated too. You're appreciated too. I just wish that appreciation somehow, you know, showed up in my numbers, showed up in the money, showed up in the subscribers, showed up in Cash App, showed up in gifts, all that type of stuff. You know what I mean? But it doesn't. Can't crawl a spoiled milk. Life takes us through different chapters, different directions. So, you know, I'm a rider. You know what I'm saying? I'm a rider. I'm a rider. With that being said, y'all know what to do. You know what I mean? Jake, boy, congratulations on having immunity and still getting your ass kicked out of here twice tonight. I love it. I love it. No one can be Jake like Jake. You know you're a darn good troll when you got immunity and you still get kicked out. For real, man. So y'all know it's love, man. I gotta get up and make some things happen, man. You know, and it is what it is, man. Thank you to everybody who did show up. Thank you to everybody who paid attention to that notification bell because it wasn't many. It wasn't many, y'all. Y'all stay prayed up, stay blessed up, stay meditated up, stay protected, stay real, stay conscious, stay uncut, be inspired, be great, be you. Shay, ladies and gentlemen.